Well, Ben, at the press conference here for Joseph Parker versus Joe Joyce, the number 1 and number 2 respectively in the WBO heavyweight division for the interim title. How do you see that press conference there? How do you think it went?
Look, it's a tough fight. Both sides are pretending it's an easy fight. It's a tough fight. Joe Joyce has never fought at this level in the professional game. Never, ever, ever. Not even, for me, not even close. He took on a very, very young Daniel Dubois. Joseph Parker's been a world champion. He's been in with the best. He's fresher than ever. He genuinely... I've spoken to him about his previous camps. I don't know what I can say on here, but he was not the ultimate professional. He was not. He was messing around most of his 20s, and he still became world champion. He still fought Anthony Joshua. He still fought Dillian Whyte. This is the ultimate professional now. In a place that he's never been, in a place of comfort he's never been, fighting in Morecambe, training in Morecambe with Andy Lee, where everything is to a T. I think we're going to see the best Joseph Parker on Saturday night, one better than we've ever seen before, and that means, you know, Joe Joyce could be in for a tough night. Yeah,
listen, it's a really interesting fight for a number of reasons, isn't it? So I think it's a coming-of-age fight for Joe Joyce, who is 37, is the older of the two. But if you look at the resumes of the two, Joyce is not boxed nowhere near where Parker is. Parker's proven at this level. Joyce isn't, and I think that's the thing. Joe Joyce goes in this one. Do you see him as the favourite? Because he's starting the bookie's favourite, which is quite unusual because Parker actually is the one with a resume.
No, I can see why Joe Joyce is the favourite in the sense we've seen him take shots, his size, he comes forward so much. Anyone that with a naked eye would say that guy is hard to beat. But Joseph Parker, we've never seen the best of. And then you look at trajectories, I would genuinely say Joseph Parker has got more levels to go from where he currently is than Joe Joyce, despite what he's done. And so it's an intriguing fight. I can see where the bookies are favouring Joe Joyce. As I say, from a casual point of view, it probably looks that way. But for me, knowing what I know, knowing where he's at in his camp, knowing the camp he's had, not just this camp, but the two Chisora camps, building up, and where he is at now, he took this fight when he wanted, on his terms, at the right time, because he believes he's going to win on Saturday.
And he made reference to that, didn't he? He said that we was going to see something that's going to be quite unexpected. What do you think he meant by that? Do you think that they've been working on different stuff? You know, because he knows the magnitude of this fight. He knows what he's going into, but he made that reference.
I genuinely believe he feels he's a different boxer. He fought his whole career out in Vegas with Kevin, Barry and everything like that. He had to completely change what he was doing. He got to the age of 28 and said, you know what, I'm going to start again. He's won his last 5 fights. He's improving every time. And we will see a different Joseph Parker to what we've seen before. And that's the scary thing for Joe Joyce. We know Joseph Parker's a quality fighter because of what he's done in the ring so far. But this will be a different man. This will be a different man, and that's what's exciting.
Ben, you now, Joseph Parker's now joined up with you and Boxer. I mean, how difficult was it for him to come over to this country, you know, and sort of, you know, restart his career, if you like? That must have been difficult for him to do that. That shows the hunger that he's got and how much he wants to win that world title back.
I think he's a cult figure over here, to be honest, Spencer. I think he'll have more fans in there on Saturday night than Joe Joyce will have, because he's fought here 4 times. This is his 4th time. He's adopted in the UK. He's fought the biggest guys over here. He's a cult figure in the UK now, Joseph Parker. He's big over here. He likes being over here. He likes having this camp. He's the home fighter. He's ready for this. This is perfect for him. As long as David Higgins says, we get a fair fight. We want fair judging. We want to make sure this goes the way it should go, and then the best man will win.
Listen, Parker showed big improvements last time out against Derek Chisora. Had Chisora in trouble, stood his ground with Chisora, let the shots go. We've always known he's had the boxing ability, but sometimes been a little bit negative. Will we see that negativity in this fight, or is he going to stand his ground with Joyce as well? Because if he does that, we've got a real fight.
He's going to start, everyone knows Parker's going to start well. He's going to win early rounds, I believe. It's whether he can keep going, and that's a level of fitness, that's a level of nutrition. He's got to stay on the front foot. Once you let Joe Joyce start coming towards you, and he'll break you down, and you know what, it's probably better than me what it's like when you have a guy that will just keep coming. We know that's going to happen. It's whether Parker can stay on the front foot. If he knows once he drops off and becomes boring, game over against Joyce. He's got to stay on the front foot. He's got to stay the aggressor, and I think he will.
And Ben, we've got this fight on BT Box Office on Saturday night, but there is a return clause in the contract that says that the return is on Sky. Do you think that that's something that's a reality?
I struggle to see if Joseph Parker does a job on Joe Joyce that he will want that rematch. I know it's there as a protection. He's WBO number 1 against WBO number 2. We know why it's there. It would be back on Sky if it happens. But I think if Joseph Parker does a job or Joe Joyce does a job, that'll be it.
But how difficult is it going to be for the winner of this one? If Joseph Parker comes through and he grabs that number 1 spot for the WBO, we all know that Alexander Usyk's injured, could be out until March, April time. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, possibly in December. Winner fights Usyk, so the titles could be tied up. Where does Parker go if he does win that one? You know, is that why the rematch clause was put in place?
First of all, we'd happily fight again. It's a big fight. It's a big money fight. If it's a good fight, we would do it again. But no, Joseph Parker has so many big fights ahead of him. We were looking at the White rematch. We think that's a big fight, given where he's at now. There's so many fights now in the UK alone with Dubois, Hughie Fury, Hunter, Bacoli, and then obviously the world champions as well with Anthony Joshua, Usyk, Fury. He's got, whoever wins this fight has got so many options, genuinely so many options. He's going to be in pole position, he's going to be mandated as a number 1 challenger to Alexander Usyk. What is a better position for a boxer right now when there's this much money in the game and there's this many opportunities? I believe whoever wins on Saturday, that'll be it. They'll sail off into the sunset and they'll wait to fight for a world title.
Ben, final question, and I have to ask you it. Give us a prediction for Saturday night.
I think Parker can do it. I think he'll do it. I think he'll start strongly and he's just got to finish. It is a 50-50 fight. I accept that. But I think Parker early or on points. It's hard to say that Joe Joyce is going to be knocked out because he just doesn't get knocked out. He can take so much punishment, but I'd say Parker on points.
Ben, always great speaking to you, mate.
If the judges do what they're supposed to do.
Well, if the judges do what they're supposed to do. Listen, always good speaking to you.
Cheers.
Look forward to Saturday night.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.